I want to thank the senator from Iowa, and I also want to thank Lieutenant Colonel Ernst, as well as Senator Ernst, for her service to our nation. Senator Ernst is the first female combat veteran to ever serve in the United States Senate. It's an honor to serve with you, Senator Ernst, and thank you for your service to our country, both as a soldier as well as a senator. Mr. President, as I speak today, my friends from across the aisle have already not once, not twice, but 3 times blocked consideration of the Department of Defense Appropriation Act of 2017, which will deny our troops the proper funding and support they deserve. And I'm proud to be standing here with some of my freshman colleagues, imploring my friends on the other side of the aisle to stop the political games, get back to work, and that starts with funding our military. We shouldn't be playing these petty political games on legislation that is and should be historically bipartisan. In fact, this bill, the Defense Appropriation Act, it passed the House of Representatives in June on a bipartisan vote of 282 to 138. That included 48 Democrats. That's a very strong bipartisan vote. And now over on the Senate side, and as a member of the Appropriations Committee, I recall clearly it passed our committee 30-0. That's called running up the score. 30-0 out of the Senate Committee on Appropriations May 26. Not one Democrat opposed this bill in committee. And I asked my colleagues, what in the world has changed? Why did it go from 30-0 in the committee, and now we're seeing a filibuster here on the floor of the United States Senate? And just so we're all clear, when Senate Democrats vote no, here's what they're saying no to. 1.2 million military active duty, 800,000 reservists. They're saying no to 10,000 troops engaged in combat in Afghanistan and the additional military in harm's way in Iraq, in Syria, and other places throughout the world. You know, we're seeing ISIS expanding into places like Libya. They're attacking Western targets like Paris, like Brussels, and the homeland here in places like San Bernardino as well as Orlando. We need to make sure our military forces have the tools they need to win. Because as Marco Rubio once said, it's either we win or they win. There's no middle ground here. Let's give them the tools they need to win. Because I can tell you one thing, our enemies are not waiting around for the Senate Democrats to fund our military to make it a fair fight. This bill provides money to replace the munitions and other consumable items that are being used in defending America against the likes of ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and the Taliban. Passing this also gives confidence to our Eastern European allies. And back in my home state of Montana, we have a rich legacy of service. I'm the son of a U.S. Marine. My dad served with the 58th Rifle Company in Billings, Montana. And in fact, our nation's peace through strength strategy, we see that clearly at Montana's Malmstrom Air Force Base. You see, up in Montana, we have 1/3 of the nation's intercontinental ballistic missiles. We played a critical role in meeting our nation's security and military needs. In fact, I have the utmost faith, always do, in the 1,200 defenders at Malmstrom that provide security for the missiles that silently sit across Montana. And I know these airmen will not fail our nation, but Washington, D.C. is failing them, and Senate Democrats are failing them, and it is unacceptable. At Malmstrom, the commander's coin, their motto is this. It says, scaring the hell out of America's enemies since 1962. They do so because this body chose duty over politics. So how can they continue to stand here and say no to our military when so much is at stake? When the U.S. House passed a bipartisan bill, when this body passed by unanimous vote, 30-0, the bill out of committee, we must say yes to our military who fight for us every day and say no to petty politics in Washington, D.C. We must stand up for the rights and the freedoms that we enjoy. Senate Democrats, stop saying no. Let us debate the DOD appropriations bill. And finally, I urge my Senate colleagues across the aisle, have the courage to vote against the wishes of their leader and help us move this legislation forward.